Hey guys, thanks for joining. I am so sorry for the delay in the live streaming. It didn't work out as well as I hoped it would for the stream for the new event, so I'm definitely going to reach out to my fellow techs and help me assist in creating these new events. So I have an agenda set up for us so that we will have a smooth process for our... Sorry guys, just dropping things here. Just want to make sure that it's a smooth process for us. I'm always a little frazzled for these live sessions. Always trying to get my stuff together, so just bear with me as this is my second time doing this live stream. I am definitely excited, yet I am still nervous, but I'll definitely chug through this and let you guys learn about Google Sheets. So, with Google Sheet, what you want to do is, one, as I mentioned before in my first session for Google Hangout, you need an account that could use Google Sheets or Google Drive. It could be your university account that you are connected with Google Documents, Google Sheets, and also, you could just sign up for a Gmail and make it very simple. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is your drive. So this is how your drive would look like. How you would access to your drive is you would go to the top right corner. You see the 9 boxes, the 9 little tiny boxes on the top right corner. You click down on it and then you'll see a whole bunch of Google icons. It's your account, your search button, your maps, YouTube, everything. But the main focus that we want to look at is Google Drive. So once you click the Drive button, it'll get you to the screen. And once you get to the screen, this is where you'll learn a lot of new fun stuff. In terms of new, when you click on new, you'll get a drop-down list in terms of your folders, uploading files. So your Google Drive could be used as a USB port. Like, it's wireless. As long as you have internet, you could access your files anywhere. So feel free to utilize your drive also. So as I said before, our main focus today is Google Sheets. So go ahead and click on Google Sheets. So once you click on Google Sheet, it'll give you an untitled spreadsheet. Google likes to do some work on it, so just let it completely load. Once the working title on the top stops showing, you get started. On the first agenda, I'm going to tell you how to import Excel sheets and .cvs files into Google Sheet. This is very simple. It's like pretty much uploading a file anywhere on a link. So where you would want to do that is you'll hit File, you'll hit Open. Open will ask you to open any file, so you could also open other Google spreadsheets on your sheets. Anything that is shared with you right now, nothing's currently shared with me. I will definitely show you how to share your files so that you can share it with other friends, with coworkers, etc. Your star sheets would be like anything that you want to favorite. I'll show you shortly how to favorite your sheets so that you could easily locate them. And all items are all items that are located in your drive. But the next part that I really want to introduce to you is uploading like any Excel sheet, any .cvs sheets, so comma separated value sheets. So that's the sheet that we worked on last sessions for Google Calendar. It's not really a spreadsheet, but the data could be set to treat it like a spreadsheet. So when you click upload, you'll select a file from your computer. Very simple. I have a lot of screenshots and a lot of photos in general. So anything that you want to pull as a spreadsheet, go ahead and like pull those sheets. I don't have a prime example, but it's pretty simple. It'll upload as if it was a spreadsheet or Excel sheet that you originally have. Formatting, I must admit, may be a little different, so you're just going to have to work your best in terms of formatting. I will teach formatting more later in the next sessions, but we're going to focus on the basics, and then anything that you should learn about sheets before you actually start utilizing sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and X this out. Before you can start your sheet, you want to name your sheet. It's just a thing that Google Drive wants you to do. So go ahead and name your sheet. I'm going to name this 6-10 Session 2. So very simple. Once you name your sheet, you go ahead and start it. When you start it, you could go back to your drive. There's a left panel where you can see a drop-down list. And when you hit star, that's your favorite sheet. So that's just a quick hint in terms of starring your files. So going back to the sheet. So there's also ways to export your Google Sheets. Very simple. It's just the other way around. Instead of importing Excel sheet or .cvs files, you could export your made spreadsheet. So I have an example here where I'll show you how to export it. And I will also share you this spreadsheet because it has a whole bunch of useful links. I consider these as shortcuts because I'm a lazy person. I'll admit it. I like to keep things very short, neat, and to the point. So with these links, they automatically create new docs, new drawing, new forms for me so that I don't have to do the whole 9 yards of hit file, new. These links will automatically open up a new file for me. So I accidentally clicked the 3 bar on the left. This is just taking you to the main page of Google Sheets. You can take a tour, but I know you guys could read, you guys could explore on your own, so definitely check that out. And another cool part before I show you how to export sheet is Google Sheet has already preset templates that you could use. These are very awesome preset templates, by the way. It has everything for you. So it has to-do list, annual budget, monthly budget, a calendar, schedule, expense report. Oh, they have something from QuickBooks, so definitely utilize this. And for all my school teachers who wants to teach, you have your attendance, your grade books, so definitely a useful tool. So let's actually go back to that spreadsheet. So very simple, very straight to the point. Once it loads, you would, instead of exporting, Google Drive calls it download as, pretty much you are downloading. You have 6 different types of ways that you could download the sheet. So you could download a spreadsheet, you could download open doc format, PDF document, which I use very often and frequently for my work. Web page is just a web page so that you could just upload it and they could just view it. A .cvs file, just if you're using a contact sheet list, and then a TVS file, also another similar CVS file. So that's how you export. You just click on it, gives you a little download down here, and then you open in your Excel sheet. So a couple ways that you could utilize Google Sheet is, one, you could create a contact sheet list to upload it to your Gmail contacts. 2, for session 1, I taught you guys how to create a mass event file to upload to your calendar. It's just pretty much listing out all of the events that you want to upload to your calendar, and it just shoots right into it. Creating a project management sheet. So if you want to set up your project management, so it would be similar to these templates right here that you could utilize Google Sheets for. Another couple of thing is creating a calendar. So Google Sheet already preset a calendar template, so definitely utilize that if you want to utilize Google Sheets as your calendar. And then also, you know, the general basic, a general database set. So going to our blank page, what are the basic things you can do with Google Sheets? So ways that you can set up your data is setting up a data validation. So this will help you create a drop-down list in terms of, like, let's create something similar. So for example, it has a date, name, location. So for example, you have 5 people rotating in your group for a certain location, but you don't want to type in every single name. So this is where you would create a data validation. There are multiple ways that you could create data validation. So let me go through that step again. So you would click on the cell sheet that you want to have a data validation. Data validation, make sure that you have the correct information in each cell so that you don't have to worry that you're misspelling something or you don't want to retype it 10 billion times. It's a great tool. You should definitely learn how to use this. So go on data. It'll drop down a list, hit validation on the very bottom. It'll give you a pop-up menu. Cell range, so for example, if you have the entire column to be, you know, the same thing over and over, go ahead and click on the cell range and set the entire column so you don't have to do this over and over. So I'm going to just do from B2 to B20. And it's going to give you a criteria. So what does this mean? So a list from a range. So a range, again, it's depending on which cell range you want to look at. For example, you set up another spreadsheet called setting where it'll have a list of all the names, all the location, even dates. The great thing about Google Spreadsheet that is dates is already like pre-handled in Google Sheets. I'll show you that shortly once we start uploading our data. So again, I will show you this first criteria shortly, but let's do the real simple one. So the list of item is just pretty much you're typing in exactly what you want. So for example, you have Bobby, Bill Cumming, Jane Doe, very creative names, jelly beans, and you have Johnny Mo. There you go. Once you hit save, you'll notice that it'll create a drop-down list for your cell range. Another thing is you could also make sure that it has a data validation between certain numbers. For example, you want to make sure that it's only between 0 and 10 and not 0 and 1010 kind of thing. So just make sure that you have the right number. So that's another good thing about data validation is it's like a second spell checker for you. And then with data validation, you shouldn't even worry about spell checking because you have the list of names that you want already. Text. So text also, if it contains a particular word. So for example, you want to make sure that this cell has the word create every single time. If it doesn't, then it'll give you a marker that's saying it's wrong, or it will reject it if you want it to reject. Date, so is it a valid date? So is this text or is this cell information a text, or is it equal to a certain date, or it's before, on, before, after? So it's pretty much making sure that it doesn't exceed. So pretty much you could utilize this data validation on numbers, on words, on statements, on phrases, whatever you want, you name it. And then also custom formula. So this one's a little more complicated. With customer formulas, I will definitely show you that in the next sessions because I will show you a couple more formulas next session. I just want to make sure that you know the basic of Google Sheets so that we can move on to formulas next session. So let's go back to our list. It's already created. Go ahead and hit save. Actually, before we hit save, is another part of the data validation is on the invalid data. For example, if your spreadsheet says yellow watermelon and it's not listed in your list of items, it will show you that, hey, this cell is incorrect. Please correct this. Or, even better, you can hit reject input and it won't even let you input yellow watermelon. So appearance, so it'll just show a display and cell button to show lists. Or you could also show help, be like, please make sure you use the pre-selected list. And then now you could definitely go hit save. So show you always. So once you hit save, you'll see a drop down, or you'll see a drop down arrow. Once you click it, ta-da, there is your drop down list. Saves you a lot of time. So if you have a lot of repetitive work, I would definitely recommend you use data validation all the time, like all the time, regardless. And then as for a date, you go ahead and put in a certain date. So 3/17. By the way, happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you guys are wearing green. I actually don't own anything green, but getting off topic. So what I mean by pre-selected date is that once you input a date, when you double click on a cell, it will pop up a little calendar. So if you don't really want the 17th, but you want the 21st, you could just click this. So just a quick little shout out in terms of making your life easier on the Google Sheet is that there's a lot of simple things on here that you could remember and utilize so that you don't waste your time on sheets just on dates or just on simple lists. So I'm just drag this down for fun. So when you drag down data, it will pull it to the next date. So that's another cool thing about sheets. So it's just a feature in an Excel sheet too, if you think about it. So as I mentioned before, if you write in something that is not a part of this list, it will let you know and it will not let you input it. Sometimes you could, but most of the time you can't. So let's just try to put in like a random. So Mary Mo. So there you go. It rejected the input. There is a problem. Please make sure you use the pre-selected list. So that was the help text that I inputted, and that's also helps you make sure that the right data is in your spreadsheet and no one's playing with your data. Definitely utilize this at work all the time. Saves me a lot of time in terms of messy spreadsheet and also just in general. So with this, you could type it in. If you type in B, it'll show up all the B's. So Bobby Bill, jelly beans, anything that starts with a B contains a B. I'm just gonna put random stuff. Copy it a few times. Put Jane Doe. So yeah, if you put Doe, it'll show up D. If you put what was the other name? Johnny. So Mo. So if you type in Mo next, or M, like you don't even have to like type in the entire name. You just type in the letter, and then click on it, and then 2. If you just want to do the simple click, go ahead and do the simple click. For location, you just put simple location. Right now, I'm just gonna keep it real simple because the focus is just on the basics. And I don't want you guys to run out of time. Located in New York right now. It's currently 9:30. Anyways, going back. So the next part I want to show you guys is conditional formatting. So for example, you want to highlight Bobby Bill as blue, jelly beans as red. You don't have to add the drop down, color bucket. There's a conditional formatting will make your life so easy, so easy. So easy that it's not even funny. So with this part, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to utilize that data validation by a list of range. So create your new sheet. I'm going to just call it settings, because anytime I utilize data validation, it's technically a setting that you want to keep it the same, and you know that you're not going to change it anytime in the near future or on a daily basis. So by being, I will copy this, put it over here. So sometimes when you copy stuff, it will automatically copy over to data validation. What you want to do to remove that data validation is go ahead and click on data validation, and then just hit remove the validation, and it disappears. So we only want one Jane Doe. So going back to sheet 1, I'm going to go ahead and pre-select B2 to B20. So you could also pre-select the data that you want to create a data validation for. So data validation, you want it from a list of range. So go ahead and click on this lovely table chart. What data? You'll go to your settings sheet and then click the specific cells that has the data on it. So go ahead and click OK, click Save, go back to your sheet, and it's not going to give you an error because it's the same set of data again. There you go. Very simple, very straightforward. And then going back to the conditional formatting, so go ahead and pre-select the group of cells that you want to conditional format your sheet. So what you want to do is, there's a couple ways of doing conditional formatting. I notice I'm very thorough with the basic, but I want you guys to be very, very familiarized with the basics, because if you know these simple steps, it will make your life really, really easy. I learned the hard way, and I want you guys to learn this way so that you understand sheets completely. And then once you move into the higher level of like formulas, this will be nothing. This will be just, this will be just like the spread, the butter. You're not making the bread. Okay, sorry. I often get a little off topic. So going back. So once you pre-select your range, you could also click on this and reselect your range, or you could add another range. We're not going to do that just yet, but let's go ahead. So format the cell if it's empty. So if it's empty, then it's going to make it green. If it's not empty, then it's going to select the ones that has name in it. But we want to be very specific in terms of the names. So we want the text is exactly, not contains, because what if Jane Doe had John Doe? Because if John Doe is on there, then it would also conditional format John Doe to be green. But we want Bobby Bill to be green. So we want to make sure that the text is exactly Bobby Bill. Very simple. You just type it in, click to the side, and Bobby Bill is highlighted green. He got them bills, all them green. Okay. So that's the very simple way to use conditional formatting. With customer formula, I will definitely show you that throughout the session once I show you how to write the formulas in the cell. Because when you put custom formulas for conditional formatting, it's very similar to creating formulas in your spreadsheet. So let's just do the very basic. So text is exactly Bobby Bill. And then it has a whole bunch of others, conditional formatting. If you're very familiar with the terminology with math, that's how it is. It's very simple. But yeah, so the reason why I want to show you guys conditional formatting is because it's very simple. It makes your life a lot easier so that you're not like creating or coloring your spreadsheet over and over and over. So instead of pre-selecting the cell again and hitting format, conditional formatting, you could just simply add another rule. When you add another rule, it'll already apply the same range, and it will copy Jelly Bean again, but you don't want Jelly Beans, you want Jane Doe. You want Jane Doe to be red. Hit done, and then Johnny Mo. Johnny Mo is going to be purple. So once you're done, you have a wonderful pastel column. So this is just a visual effect. You could definitely utilize conditional formatting for the entire row, but that also requires some conditional formatting, so be very careful. Other things is that you can set up a graph. So we could do a very simple graph in terms of the count of names. So what you want to do is you want to hit insert on the very top, hit chart, and then once it comes up to chart, it'll do a count of names. So how many times Johnny Mo, Jelly Beans, Bobby Bill, and Jane Doe shows up. You could do a pie chart, you could do a horizontal chart. Let's just do the basic histogram. So you could also have line charts, a lot of charts. So line charts, area charts, more columns, very specific columns charts, more pie, a donut pie chart. Scatter, it's more just a scatter chart, but we're going to keep it back at the histogram. So definitely play around with Google Sheets, get more familiar with the basic parts of Google Sheets. With the charts, you could also customize the title, how it's utilized. So I'm just showing you just the basic of the chart. So you could also name your axis. In terms of going more details, I will definitely do that in the next session, just showing that you could, actually utilize charts and spreadsheet too. So once you insert your chart, it's just a huge image on your chart. And then if you want to remove it, just click on the bottom arrow and delete the chart off your spreadsheet. So what are some shortcuts? So there's a couple of shortcuts that you could utilize in spreadsheets. So I'm going to create another spreadsheet. It's going to call copy. So a couple of short keys that you could use on your keyboard. It's just to make your process in terms of the spreadsheet easier. So when you copy this entire thing, it'll copy the exact same format, but I'm going to put it in column E in terms of if you just only want the data. So in terms of the short key, what you want to do is you want to hit Control plus Shift plus V. So when you hit the short key, it would only give you the data and none of the data validation, none of the conditional formatting. It's just you only wanted like the basic information from the cell. When you hit Control Shift V, it gives you the absolute basic. It also removes the formatting of the dates. So since we remove the formatting of dates, I'll show you how to reformat the date where we can understand what the date is telling us. So go ahead and pre-select your date, format, and then you'll hit number, and then just date. Also, there's more date times format that you could use. It's already set up. If you really want like a specific way, you could definitely type it in here. It'll show you if you want to add zeros, if you want to do months, abbreviation, etc. The first letter of the month. For the year, either the second half of the year or the full digits. For a day, Tuesday, short twos, leading zero or no zero. I'm going to X out of that. We just want to keep it the same dates. So with formatting, you don't only format numbers, you can format percentage, scientific, so you want a certain amount of decimals. For your finance people who are in accounting, you can definitely use spreadsheet to help you out. Currency, so it's just adding a $sign in 2 spots. Duration, so duration is like the time, not the hour, not the like actual time hour. It's just a duration. So if you did a 24-hour marathon, you did a 24-hour marathon. And a couple more, like formatting, bold or italics. It's very similar to documents, so you should definitely know this. And then text wrapping. So text wrapping is if your one of your cells is like overflowing. So you type in New York, USA, zip code, whatever. So it does this, it overflows. If you don't want it to overflow, you just wrap the text. So it's just very similar to documents. Very, very similar. I'll definitely list a couple more shortcuts or short links that you could use. Short keys, actually, sorry. This will just help you utilize, sheets better, sheets faster. Saves you a lot of time. I actually want to thank you, all the viewers, for watching. If you guys have any questions, definitely shoot me a video or shoot me a shout out in the chat room. Are there anything that you guys want me to review again? Give you guys a few seconds. Type in if you guys want to. If not, then we'll move on to a couple more things before I close this sessions for tonight. I don't want it to end too late because I know you guys have a life. St. Patty Day. Go ahead and have fun. Whatever you need to do. Okay, no questions from the audience. Totally chill. Alright, so this is pretty much the basics of Google Sheets. Just go ahead and play around with data validation, get to be more familiar with it. Create a form. So creating a form, that's a little more complex. I'll definitely do a session on that. Another simple part that you could do, I forgot to put it down in my notes, is that you could create a filter. How do you create a filter? So what you want to do is you hit data and then hit the filter. That pre-selects your section, and then once you click down the drop down arrow, it'll show you a list of names that you just want to click. So you're focused on Bobby Bill. Bobby Bill. So Bobby Bill has 2 days on March 23rd and March 25th. That's just a way that you could see it more visually. In terms of, but when you do filters, you have to be very careful, because if you notice on the right side, it will hide all the rows and all the random columns. So go ahead, and then to remove it, you will hit more and then just click on the turn off filter, and it'll just turn it off for you. And then the last part I just want to show you before I go, you want to sort the range. So you click on data. Make sure you copy the range first, otherwise it will sort the entire sheet. So sort range by column. So it already sorted. There's usually a way to make sure that you have columns. And then last but not least, so the 2 parts I forgot to add into my agenda is adding comments to your spreadsheet and also sharing your spreadsheet. How do you add comments? So you want to make sure that Johnny Mo knows that he is on the 21st. So what you want to do is, there's two ways. You hit more and insert comment. Once you hit insert comment, it will highlight that section. How do you add his email, or how do you notify him? So in order to notify him, you need to know his email. So the email that I'm going to use is the Wedding Tech. Wedding Tech is my second business email that I occasionally use. And then you just hit a comment. Check your dates and location. So this will notify Johnny Mo, and also this is another way to share it. So you don't want the visitors to have any edit access. So just go ahead and just share and comment. And whenever you pull it on email, maybe it's in my spam. It's definitely not in my spam. Yeah, I just saw a whole bunch of emails. Sometimes it's slow, and then sometimes it's just not working the way I thought it would work. Okay, so usually it pops up in a lovely email, notifies the comment. We'll go ahead and hit resolve. So another way to share it is check your top right corner, click on share. So there's two ways. You share it by your email addresses or the names in your contact, and then anyone with the link can comment, or they could edit, or they could just view. So anything that you want, or more. More is just very specific, same thing. I'm just hit cancel. And then done. So whenever you share again, click on share, type in the email address that you want to share it with. And I'll share it with that one person. And maybe it wants to share it with me on this email. So once you share it to the person, they will get an email notification, and they're able to see the sheet depending on what kind of access you gave it to. So for this one, it showed an invitation to edit, and then that's how your email will look like. And then you can click open. Once you click open, it will notify that you're able to access. If you can't access it, you could also request access to that Google Sheet. And that's it for the basic of Google Sheets 101. And that was the chat. So we're at the red light. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for bearing with me in terms of the technology issues. I promise you guys I'll probably end up using this link again for the live sessions now. It's just to have it a more seamless process. I was having a lot of struggle in terms of trying to utilize the other events on the YouTube link. I will definitely share feedback on that with the YouTube streamers. But in terms of the next Google sessions, I'm going to teach you guys how to import other sheets, filter your spreadsheet, use count ifs and sum ifs. I'll go very slowly. I'll go in detail. I like to go in deeper details while making jokes. And if you guys like that, definitely come and watch. If you don't, then I'm glad that you stopped by and got to learn a little bit. That's it for tonight. Thank you guys. If you don't have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email at SIXTILTEN@gmail.com.